Hey guys, and welcome back to Z3 Cubing. Today, I'm going to make the world's lightest 1x1 Rubik's Cube. A standard cubical 1x1 weighs about 15 grams, whereas the lightest magnetic 1x1s in my collection weigh closer to 7 grams. Now obviously these lightweight speed cubes are way faster than the heavy name brand, but that got me thinking. What's the lightest possible 1x1 you could make, and how fast would it be? Now, of course, you can't just take like a mini 1x1 or a 1x1 made out of paper and try and call it the world's lightest. So first, we need some rules. So the world's lightest 1x1 must be at least 25 millimeters, the same size as a standard 1x1. And for the sake of this video, I think it should also be made out of plastic, the traditional Rubik's Cube material. So where should we start with making the lightest possible 1x1? Well, I think the obvious solution is to take a standard 1x1 and then just cut holes into each side until you're left with this hollow skeleton of a cube. The only problem with that is that you then wouldn't have any room for the stickers, plus it would be a lot of work and you'd have to ruin a perfectly good 1x1. So I think a better idea is to stick with the skeletal cube design, but instead build it completely from scratch. So I went ahead and designed this 3D printed piece that's basically just a hollow square with 45-degree angles so that you can fit 6 of them together into one big cube. I also went ahead and bought some 3D printing filament in all the standard Rubik's Cube colors. That way I can print one of these in each of the 6 colors and then put them all together into one big hollow stickerless cube. So let's start the 3D printing time lapse. And here are the finished 3D printed pieces. I just love how nice these look in all the different bright colors. So what we have to do next is clean up these 3D prints. We have to take them off of the rafts, which just help them to print better. And then we use a knife to clean up any little mistakes like this and just make the pieces look really nice. And then once we do that, we just have to take some super glue and glue all 6 pieces together in the correct positions. And then our super light 1x1 will be complete and ready for testing. So let's go ahead and start the time lapse. And here is the result. A beautiful stickerless 1x1, and it feels pretty darn light too. There are a few minor imperfections like those little gaps under the white side, but overall I could not be happier with the results. Before we do the final weigh-in, we have to make sure it follows all the rules. So let's check the size real quick. It's pretty much exactly 25 millimeters, which is perfect. Of course, it's made out of 100% 3D printed plastic. And just in case, let's scramble it up real quick to make sure it's still fully functional. I'm gonna get my timer out and also scramble up this cubical 1x1 as a comparison. 3, 2, 1, and go. And just over a second, that's pretty good. How about this one? Reset the timer, and 0.14. I think that's a new 1x1 PR. So it's definitely still a fully functional 1x1, which I think means it's time for the moment of truth. How much does it weigh? Just as a reminder, the lightest 1x1 I've ever seen up to this point weighs around 7 grams, whereas this one right here weighs just 1.21 grams. That is an absolutely incredible amount. I think that's what makes it so great for speed solving. And you know the really mind-blowing thing? The world's heaviest 1x1 that I recently made weighs over 100 times as much. In fact, if you were to set this 1x1 down and push the lightest one into it, that's right, it doesn't even budge. So that is the incredible world's lightest 1x1 speed cube. I hope you all enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it, because that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys next time.